Also, thank you so much for joining me today. I think we should kick off by addressing the main pain point for a lot of companies through a number of industries, the disruptions that we see around the globe still.
The one that is top of mind, it's always top of mind, but in this case is the consumer demand, but not just the consumer demand, but the variability that we see in that consumer demand and how hard it is to really predict how it will behave in the months to come. So it's hard to say what's going to be the reality in 3 months or 6 months from now. But in essence, what we do there is a call out to link it to how the inventory is positioned, right? Because we need to continue to assess and reassess if the inventory is positioned in the right place.
The topic for today that we're going to discuss is digitization of the supply chain within the lifestyle sector, within lifestyle companies. Why do you think that digitization is a necessity?
So digitization is in many ways an enabler for speedy decision making in the supply chain and also assertive decision making to keep the inventory in the right place to meet that demand. If, for example, you have a purchase order that has gotten stuck in the supply chain because of a disruption, then it will be important to have that information in a timely manner. So if that visibility is enabled by the right tooling, then a company can make very good decisions on, okay, what to do with that purchase order. Can it be expedited? And let's assume it cannot be expedited. Then what else? So then it can be pulled from another node in the supply chain, for example, a warehouse. But for that decision-making process to take place, there needs to be definitely some visibility and some ability to take action.
And it sounds like what you're saying with the visibility also comes more efficient supply chain, perhaps?
Definitely. I mean, the other aspect of the digitization agenda is that it will bring efficiencies to the business. It will make it, in essence, leaner, so you don't have to hold so many inventories, safety stocks, for example. So it will relate also to a financial aspect.
And interestingly enough, I think you just mentioned as an example that digitization could help against the disruptions, which was the first question I gave you. So do you think that digitization is a tool to avoid disruptions altogether?
Well, not really, completely, right? So again, digitization and, for example, having good degree of visibility in a supply chain will be enabling a number of things, such as a better and faster decision making, which essentially is being done by people, right? So what is important to highlight here is that it's the combination of the people, the processes, and the systems what really makes the difference in the midst of a disruption.
So if I look at my own life where I'm in contact with fully digitized experiences, it might be if I book a plane ticket, I book it via an app on my phone. When I go to the airport, I board the plane, I check in, I go through security, all via my phone. It's a fully digitized experience. How far are the lifestyle companies in their digitization of their logistical end of the business?
Now, there is a recent survey by Gartner that says that only 50% of the companies have really embarked in a digitization transformation in their supply chain and logistics. And that is a striking fact because, of course, that means that half of the companies have actually not started. Now, even companies that have been really pioneers even in the digitization journey, they are still on it because it is perhaps more complex than what it might seem. There are a number of different systems in a business and in a supply chain, let's say back end as much as a front end, and they need to be interconnected. On top of that, they need to also be connected to systems from partners and service providers in order to allow that visibility and also the actionability of the data. And so it is a journey, as you pointed out in the question, but I see that the lifestyle industry is really on it big time.